the investigator hissed. You're under arrest, I whispered back. Good, now you finally have the corpse he tried to hide. He froze. What did you just say? 2 unmarked SUVs skidded into the alley. Agents swarmed out with weapons drawn. Hands on the wall. I raised them slowly. Calm, controlled. I've been waiting 10 years for this night. 10 years since my father suffocated in a blaze. 10 years since the city ruled it a tragic electrical failure. 10 years of knowing the horrific truth. They cuffed me, threw me into a cruiser, and drove me to the federal building. I didn't utter a syllable during processing. An hour later, they shackled me to a steel table. An investigator walked in, eyes heavy with exhaustion. You want to explain why you called in your own inferno? It's not my inferno, I said. There is a dead body inside that warehouse, and you found me outside covered in ash. So you contaminated my crime scene, he snapped. I gifted you a crime scene, I whispered. I didn't light that match, but I know exactly who did. The investigator leaned back. Okay, who? Pull the cold case file from 2016, I commanded. The Starlight Theater. He didn't move. Why? Because that is where this bloodbath started. He walked out. 20 minutes later, he returned with a yellow dossier. Elias Thorne died of smoke inhalation. Ruled accidental. It wasn't an accident, I snapped. The gas line was severed, and I know this because he was my father. The investigator's expression hardened. The prime suspect, Julian Vance, was cleared. The zoning commissioner provided an airtight alibi. The commissioner lied, I said, and the man currently burning in your warehouse is that exact commissioner. I watched his brain connect the puzzle pieces. The victim tonight is Vance's former accomplice, I continued. He falsified the safety reports, and 3 weeks ago, he called Vance demanding a massive payout to stay quiet. The investigator scribbled. How do you know about that extortion call? Because I've been hacking Vance's private servers for 8 years, I replied. I built my own digital guillotine. That's a felony, he warned. So is burning a man alive, I retorted. He set his pen down. If you knew the commissioner was going to flip, why didn't you bring him to us? Because Vance buys judges, I yelled. I tracked his Bentley. When he drove to the archives at midnight, I knew he was tying up loose ends. I waited for the flash of the ignition. Then I pulled the alarm. That's when the real bombshell dropped. Do you have physical proof? He asked. I reached into my boot. He flinched. I moved agonizingly slow and slid an encrypted hard drive across the table. 8 years of offshore transfers. Audio logs of Vance plotting to incinerate the theater. Every dirty secret. He stared at the drive. Why didn't you surrender this years ago? I tried, I hissed. Heat climbed my neck and my vision blurred. The precinct captain called me a delusional kid. Vance's lawyers threatened to bankrupt my family. But tonight is different. Tonight you have a fresh corpse. Vance cannot write a check to make the ashes disappear. The investigator grabbed the drive and stormed out. I sat shackled for 2 hours. Then the doors swung open. The investigator stepped in, looking rattled. We apprehended Julian Vance 10 minutes ago. Accelerant residue on his shoes. He assumed the fire would burn until dawn. He didn't expect a 4-minute response time. I closed my eyes. What about me? I asked. You're free to go, he said quietly. We'll need you on the stand. He studied me. You orchestrated this entire execution, didn't you? I promised my dad I would balance the scales, I whispered. The trial lasted 4 weeks. Julian Vance caught life without parole. 2 counts of first-degree murder. I didn't shed a tear when they read the verdict. I had burned through all my grief 10 years ago. I drove to the cemetery and stood at my father's headstone. I didn't say a word. I didn't have to.